Hello, Libra. Thank you for joining me for your March 15th through the 31st love reading for 2018. I wanted to do an extra love reading for all of you, even though I did a monthly one, because I feel like we spend a lot of time thinking about that area of our lives, and it's important to us on a daily basis. So, in your present position, we have the World. How wonderful is that? Yay. Okay. And crossing that channel is the Eight of Pentacles. All right. Steady progress on building security. Strength behind you. Wonderful. Some divine protection there. Building new foundations. Working with someone. Okay, but there's a challenge. I feel like this is the challenge. There's an overarching energy of some heartache that you've had in the past, that you've had before, and it's on your mind. Okay, and Ten of Wands in the immediate future. Okay, and so also you are feeling a little burdened, but there's lots of goals and purposes in your life. Let's see. At the root of the matter, we have this Five of Swords. That's usually about arguments, fighting, and a win at all cost mentality, not good arguments. In the home environment, justice. So if things have been a little unfair or unbalanced, that will be changing. Hopes and fears. You wish you could see better, I think. You wish you knew more, but also, that's suggesting you have intuition. Outcome Emperor, which can mean taking control. Let's see. The Five of Pentacles. So perhaps some issues that affect a relationship or feeling left out in the cold, lack of relationship. Let's see, Six of Cups. So that's a nostalgic card. And that's a lovely card. Okay. Now I'll clarify and I'll see what this looks like. First of all, you start with the World. So there is something that's gone very well for you, Libra. There's something that was going on, a goal of yours, something you had to work for, and it's gone very well. You kind of feel like I've arrived. So for those of you who have had a change in your relationship lately, some new dynamic, some change in how you two relate with each other, you're feeling good, like, yes, that worked. Thank goodness, we've got that down. Or, we got through that. We got through that tough spot, and now we're good. It was a success. For those of you who are not in relationships, this might mean that you do have a lot going for you. You really have a lot going for you. You've built up a lot of security all on your own, and you're diligent. Yeah, you work at it, and this isn't miserable work. This is work, where you're feeling fine about it. You're just working, and so that's, sort of like you're perfectly okay in and of yourself. That's what I'm seeing for the single folks. And you have fun. You have fun with friends. Yeah. Let's see. Or even that just sort of celebratory attitude. Let's see, your strength in your past, some divine strength and protection, and the sun and joy. Okay, so you've come through a time here where you feel like the universe has really been smiling upon you. Really, I mean, look at these major arcana. You've got the sun, you've got the strength card, you've got the World. You feel like you've come through a time when things have been good. Things have been good. Improvement in your relationship if you're in a relationship, or you have a new relationship you're really liking and you feel like, yep, that's gonna, yes, it's working. If you're single, you've come through a time where you've had a lot of good times. You've enjoying your friendships. You're enjoying your work. I mean, your work is going well, and you feel like you have enough all by yourself. You don't need to seek out a partner. Not to say you won't. That's actually a very good spot to be in when you do try to meet someone, because then you're better able to be objective, and you don't really need anything from them, but you're better able to ask yourself, are they going to enrich my life? All right, and underneath we've got the Three of Pentacles. So working with someone to build something, build security, and Page of Swords. So also you've got some new idea, a new insight or revelation that is tied with this project. And this is about relationships. So some of you may have started dating somebody and you're building. And like I said, the world would suggest that you're feeling like, yeah, this is going to make it. This is probably the one, you know. And others of you are just building with your partner. And you're speaking and you're sharing new ideas. And that's a good thing. But what is this? What is that? That Three of Swords. Now Three of Swords is interesting because it's usually not a new pain. You see those swords have been there for a while and they would have had to been inflicted by somebody close to you, right? So usually this is something that has been a source of heartache for you. And instead we have Page of Pentacles crossing that, clarifying that. So yeah, that's a new opportunity, new financial opportunity, or money coming your way. But really, since this is about relationships, I'm really taking the Pentacles to mean more about security, because they can mean that too. So you have an offer. You have the start of something that could make you feel a lot more secure and be able to just really let this go, this pain that's happened in the past. That's what I'm seeing there. Something that can build a sense of real security. 10 of Wands in the near future. But, oh, isn't that interesting? You're working hard. I mean, I see you working hard. You've got a lot of responsibilities. Sometimes it can even feel like too much. But look at this Page of Cups. He's a delightful figure. He comes and says, hey, let's have some fun. You know, here, this will be fun. Here's good news. You know, that kind of thing. So I think this is going to continue. It feels to me like you've got some good people that you enjoy in your life, and that will continue. So that's the break in the work. And remember, the 10 of Wands, it can be feeling a little overburdened, but also it's a completion card. So it can mean that, yes, you have a lot of responsibilities. Yes, you've been working hard, but these are all things that are important to you. And you're about to meet some goals regarding these purposes here. So it's a completion card. Let's see, we have the Five of Swords. So that I have been taking to mean in these relationship readings. Arguments where people go too far. You know, they're maybe saying things just to win the argument and not thinking about the other person, not thinking about damage to the relationship that could be done. So maybe there's been some of this. I wonder if that's related to that. So if you're single, this heartache in the past was a past relationship, and that was this was the other person, you know, that did some harm to you. I mean, this other person had a tendency to want to win at all costs, a real vicious, cutting way about him or her, and not that always like that, but could really be like that, and did do some harm and inflict some harm. So if you're single, I'm getting that this is the past here for you, and it's on your mind because there's a new opportunity to build security in yourself, but also there's an offer coming in. So in a new relationship, perhaps. King of Wands. Okay, so you came through this. That's what I'm getting. You came through this. And you coalesced around a purpose. You learned more about what you wanted, and more specifically what you wanted. And if you're in a partnership, this could have just been non-productive arguments that weren't helpful. But now we're having a more mature outlook, and you both are getting more clear about what you want and need. Justice will be done in the home environment, meaning if there's been something that's been unfair, The scales will balance. So, I mean, it can mean that there are contracts happening or even divorce, but I just don't see it in this reading. But for those of you who are looking at a divorce, this will tell you a little bit more about that. I feel like if some of you are looking at a divorce or a separation or experiencing a separation, it's actually going pretty well. You're healing, yeah, and you're kind of thinking about how bad it was, but also you have friends and you have some fun inviting you to come and have fun, and you have strength and you have the sun shining upon you. So I mean, sort of like, yeah. So yeah, I guess what I'm saying is some of you Libras who are in separation or divorce, this applies to you, but I really think you're doing fine. You're doing okay. Yeah, you're off in search of something that's missing. Okay, so you want more emotional fulfillment in your life, and I think this would be for all Libras. Things need to be fair. The scales need to be balanced, and maybe you feel like you've been giving a little too much. You've been caring a little too much about their happiness to the point that you're neglecting your own. So it may be time to really focus on that, really think about that. And if there are things you find enjoyable that they don't, maybe sometimes you do that. And then the next week you do something they find enjoyable and you don't. It's just kind of work together like that. But you need to speak up about your feelings, because they are important. Your wants and your needs are important. All right, so in the hopes and fears, we have the moon. And so that's a little bit, and we have that 5 of Swords again. All right, so for you single people who've gone through some tough things, bad relationships in the past, you're worried about this new offer, or even dating again. You're worried about that because you're thinking you're going to have the same thing. You're kind of like, oh, but what if this person has secrets and they have the same kind of mentality of this winning at all costs kind of thing. So that you're worried you're going to experience that again. But I'm just getting that you have a clarity about it and you're not going to experience that again. You're going to be able to make good choices. Yeah. Yeah, you've got the World right now. I think you're in a good place to make good choices. Yeah, for those of you who are in a committed relationship, you're hoping that your partner is as committed to stopping this stuff. And sometimes this means you might be in relationship with somebody who is sort of logic driven, keeps their emotions out of it. And sometimes it would be better if they did bring their emotions in to their conversation and how they see situations, because they might be kind of black and white and be like, well, of course it makes sense this way. That's rational, so I know I'm right. But they might not have your skill, your intuition, to see the complexity of the situation, the multi-layered, and they might not always think about your feelings. Emotions don't figure in. There's a right and a wrong. You know what I mean? So that's why I think you really do need to take the lead in standing up and saying, my happiness is important. Emotions are important. They do figure into our decision making. Our emotional well-being, our emotional fulfillment certainly is important. It is a factor. If you're going to do this logical decision making, include that as a big factor, that kind of thing. You might have to take the lead with your partner and explain some things, because some people just don't, they keep their emotions over here compartmentalized, and that's just the way they are, and you can kind of count on them to speak the truth, which is lovely. But then along with that, how that is, along with our strengths come our weaknesses. The Emperor, though, I see that as taking charge. Yep. You'll be taking charge, Libra. And you're at a place, of course, where you've got the world in your hands. You're in a good place. So you're taking charge of your love life, which is wonderful. And strength again. Look at that in your past and in your outcome. Oh my. So Spirit is strengthening you. You have some divine protection there. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, let me look at this 5 of Pentacles. and the Magician. Okay, so if you've been feeling out in the cold, and I guess I feel like that's why you're going off in search of something more emotionally fulfilling here. You're feeling a little bit like out in the cold, like my needs are important too here. Come on. The Magician is suggesting that you are going to have the ability to assert yourself about that and make plans, make real changes in your daily routines and in your life to increase your emotional fulfillment, regardless of whether or not your partner thinks it's logical. You know, some issues are not best handled with logic. And I want to see what the Six of Cups is. Okay, there's stability there. All right, if you're in a relationship where there are children, yeah, there's stability there. There's the King of Pentacles is a very stable figure. Enough of everything. You know, there's enough of everything. There's sweet stability for the children. If you're in a relationship without children, that could be stability for your inner child too. That could be things are coming up pretty good, and it's not even because of the relationship that's beginning or because of your long-term relationship and good changes in it. It's because you are in a good place. It's because the sun is shining upon you. The universe is giving you strength. The universe is giving you power. You're at a place in your life where you're really taking charge with this Emperor, and you are affecting some positive changes, and the universe is giving you the power and the wisdom to do that. So this is very good. You know, when we're in that place, our relationships do well too. And we're in a good spot to start a new one if we want to, or just not, you know, if we're perfectly happy with how well we're doing here. So I thank you so much, Libra.